It's that time again when EA dropped the trailer for the new FIFA game and everyone loses their mind, although the game looks exactly the same as it did 5 years ago. A lot of people get lost in the hype and forget about just how bad the previous game was, and go ahead and pre-order the game just after one cinematic trailer or as soon as they see the new cover of the game. A lot of these people are the ones that have been saying, I'm not getting FIFA this year, and trust me, I know because I used to be one of those people. But as soon as that pre-order button goes live, they click it quicker than Dr. Disrespect clicks the send button to a 15-year-old. So far, we've had 2 trailers from EA. The reveal trailer and the gameplay deep dive that didn't really show much gameplay. But I think so far it's fair to say we've not seen all that much. But a lot of other stuff was covered in the blog post regarding the gameplay deep dive that I have read over and would like to take a look at some of those things first and then talk about game modes and some other things. But not only that, I also want to discuss why I think FC25 is not going to be a massive improvement on FC24. The reveal trailer showing a bunch of nothing, and honestly I think EA should just stop doing them. They don't show anything meaningful that we can expect from the game. Each year the trailer is just a reskin of the previous year with updated face scans and new kits. Neither of those things really matter because the majority of players mostly care about gameplay. Well, hopefully that's something that the gameplay deep dive would give us. Unfortunately, the deep dive trailer didn't really show us anything meaningful either. Let's actually take a look at some of these new features that are coming to the game. The majority of this trailer was about FC IQ, which is based around 3 different things: team tactics, player roles and smart tactics. Basically a bunch of fancy words to disguise what these things really are. Apparently FC IQ will give you more freedom in the way you like to play, because we haven't heard that one before. Every year EA say something along those lines, and each year the game has a very specific meta that means everyone literally plays the same way. And maybe this will change that issue, but with how many times they've said this in the past, it's hard to believe that this will actually make a difference. Moving on, we have team tactics, which are supposed to allow you to have a lot more freedom in the way you want to set your team up. Pretty much custom tactics in the same version we have now. You can see here you pick a formation, and then you have build-up style and defensive approach. All of these things are currently in the game. The only real change is that now it shows you the positives and negatives of playing with such tactics. But that's not all, because player roles are also part of this FC IQ nonsense. So player roles let you pick a specific way the player will play in a position. For example, we have Vinicius here, who can have the role of winger, wide playmaker and so on and so on. But if they have a plus or plus plus by that role, it means that's the role they're best suited for. Seems like EA has some weird fetish with this whole plus plus system. Looking at this, you have a defender plus for a defender, which is weird because I always wanted to play Rudiger as a poacher. All these roles are basically player instructions that have been in the game for a long time now. They simply simplified them and put a new name on it that makes it sound like some sophisticated system. If you've played Football Manager, they are a lot similar to the player roles they have in that game. FC IQ will be available throughout all the game modes, and I think it will be specifically useful in career mode, which will hopefully improve that game mode a little bit. Although there will be a career mode deep dive, so we'll have to see what else they changed. But all FC IQ is just a collection of features that were already in the game, but put together and put under some marketing names to make them seem like a new amazing addition. It's nothing new, and EA have been doing this for years. I do like that you'll be able to share these tactics now, and I think that is a pretty neat change. I also forgot to mention about smart tactics. You'll be able to change between tactics you use in your D-pad, and the game will even suggest tactics for you, the same way it suggests substitution. This also falls under FC IQ. Another new gameplay feature is that goalkeepers will now have playstyles, because everyone loves playstyles. All playstyles do is make the lower rated cards even less usable in my opinion, and make everyone use the same players, especially in the first 3 months of the game. So goalkeepers will have these playstyles. Footwork, which means it will be easier for the keeper to make saves with his feet. Rush out, someone who is often known to challenge attackers head on in a 1v1. So players like Neuer and maybe Onana. Then we have Deflector, which I think is the most important one. It basically means that the keeper will push the ball into safer areas and not spill the ball right in front of him so the opposing player gets a tap in. Then Cross Claimer, which is self-explanatory, and so is Far Through. And lastly, Far Reach, which means they can make difficult saves a lot more effective. Then we have new technical fouls, which I don't think should be a thing and will just get annoying to play against. We will get some new skill moves too, which is the case every year and shouldn't even put in the trailer. Of course, more animations thanks to Hypermotion, thank you. An improved AI that gets improved every year yet still feels worse every year. Visual enhancements, which I really don't care about anymore, because the game has looked the same for years now. Some new cloth simulation, yes, fantastic EA, charged me 100 quid for an improved cloth animation. The fact they've put this shit into a gameplay deep dive just shows how little new features they have to show. Who genuinely cares about this stuff at this point? Then we have improvements to passing and shooting accuracy, which basically means that passing and shooting is somehow going to be worse than it is in FC24. They say that this new system is designed to reflect the real world challenge of making accurate passes under pressure. Players struggle to pass a 20-yard fucking ball already, so that will be great. Also, regarding these deep dive patch notes, they seem to like to compare the game to the real life game. Well, if you're so focused about making it realistic, why the fuck is a 5'4" woman stronger than Rudiger or Van Dijk? They've also added a new slip animation. Slippage, this one's for you, mate. I'm not mad at this, I don't care about it, it's just whatever. As long as it doesn't affect the accuracy of the pass, it doesn't really matter, and these animations will only happen when playing in snow or rain, so most likely we won't see any of this in Ultimate Team. They also go on to say that they've improved the defending and tackling, but it'll still take about 4 tackles before you eventually don't get the ball and concede a goal anyway. Tackling in this game has always been a frustrating thing for me, and honestly I don't think they'll ever get it right. Goalkeeper movement is getting a nerf though, which I think is fine. I'm not mad at this one. You will only be able to move the keeper 1 or 2 steps and then you'll have a short cooldown before you can do it again. It doesn't state how short that cooldown will be, but during set pieces you'll be able to move the keeper in the same way as you can in FC24. And that was all the real major changes when it comes to gameplay in FC25. The next thing I want to talk about is a new game mode coming to Ultimate Team Pro Clubs and Kickoff. Rush is a 5v5 game mode, basically a reskins of everyone's favourite Volta. It's like they saw that no one played Volta and decided to put it into game modes that people actually play. I think it'll be a cool addition, especially to Pro Clubs as it offers a new way to play that game mode. I'm not sure how it's going to work in Ultimate Team, but at this point I wish they just made a new FIFA Street game instead. I'm sure we'll see more about Rush in the upcoming Ultimate Team and Pro Clubs deep dive videos, where hopefully we can get a better understanding on how it works and the way it plays. Overall, FC25 doesn't offer anything new in my opinion. Like I already said, it's taken features the game already had and renamed them under a new fancy name that makes it seem like there's massive new game changing feature, whereas those features have been in the game for some time now. I also don't care about new animations and improvements to AI because that's the shit we hear every year, and the AI feels like I have a team of fucking Harvey Prices running around most of the time anyway. Same can be said for the improvements in passing, shooting and defending. Ultimately, it's too early to say what this game is going to be like, but from what I've seen and heard, it plays nearly identically to this year's game, which isn't great news. What's worse is that EA keep charging stupid amounts of money for the same game every year with a few more animations and new kits. I think we in the FIFA or FC community, or whatever you want to call it, are very similar to the COD community. We complain about the game for the whole year and say that we're done with it, and a lot of us are. I myself haven't played this game since late October, early November, and only recently started playing a few games again. But as soon as the new trailer drops, people forget that this happens every year and get lost in the hype. But then again, the majority of players that now play the game only play it to open packs and complete SBCs, and don't actually care how good or bad the gameplay is. The game doesn't seem to be an improvement on this year's game, and I think EA should just stop with the annual release and just release one game and constantly update it. But of course they're not going to do that, where they have people paying £100 for the game each year and then hundreds more on FIFA points throughout the game cycle. Let me know your thoughts on what we've seen so far and if you're excited about the new game. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.